Chapter 7. The Little House. Toodles stood over Wendy as the other lost boys rushed toward him. "I shot the Wendy! Peter will be so pleased." Tinker Bell overheard and laughed. She darted far away and hid. She knew Peter would not be pleased. A horrible silence fell upon the forest. If Wendy's heart had been beating, they would have heard it. Slightly was the first to speak. "That is no bird," he said, shaking. "I think it's a lady." "A lady?" said Toodles. He trembled. Curly spoke next. "Peter must have been bringing her to us. It was a lady to take care of us at last." He pointed to Toodles. "You killed her." Toodles' face grew white. "Why did I do it? I have often dreamed of a pretty mother. Now, I've killed her." At that moment they heard Peter's crow. He always crowed to signal his arrival. Peter dropped down in front of them. "Greetings, boys, I'm back." The boys had crowded around Wendy's body so Peter couldn't see her. "Why are you not cheering for my return?" asked Peter. "After all, I have brought a mother for you." Toodles dropped to his knees. "Have you seen her?" "She flew this way," said Peter. The boys stepped back to reveal Wendy. Peter knelt down and removed the arrow from her chest. "Who did this? Whose arrow?" "Mine," said Toodles, sobbing. "She is dead, and I did it." Peter raised the arrow like a dagger over Toodles. Before Peter struck, Nibs cried out, "Peter, look at the Wendy lady, her arm." Wendy had raised her arm. Nibs bent down and put his ear by her mouth. "She's saying, 'Poor Toodles.'" Peter danced around Wendy. "She lives," said Peter. "See?" He held up the chain with the acorn attached. The arrow struck against it. "It's the kiss I gave her. It saved her life." As Tink flew overhead, Peter begged Wendy to get better quickly so he could show her the mermaids. "Listen to Tink," said Curly. "She's crying because the Wendy lives." The lost boys told Peter Pan about Tink's crime. Peter was furious. "Listen to me, Tinker Bell. Be gone forever. I am your friend no more." Tink flew on his shoulder and pleaded with him, but he brushed her off. It wasn't until Wendy once again raised her arm that he softened. "Well, not forever, but for one whole week." Do you think Tinker Bell was grateful to Wendy for raising her arm? Oh no, she wanted to pinch her even harder. "Wendy needs to rest here," said Peter. "Let's build a house around her." A moment later, they scurried this way and that, collecting everything they needed. In no time, John and Michael appeared. They were quite relieved to find Peter. "Hello, Peter," they said. "Hello," said Peter, not paying much attention to them. It's almost as if he didn't remember the boys. He was busy at the moment, measuring Wendy with his feet to see how large a house she would need. He also had to leave room for a table and chairs. "Is Wendy asleep?" asked John. "We are hungry. We want her to make supper for us." Peter flitted about. "She's sleeping. We're making her a house." Peter made the boys help after they protested that she was just a girl. John and Michael didn't like helping the others build Wendy a house, but there was nothing they could do. "If only we knew what kind of house she'd like best," said Toodles. Wendy stirred in her sleep and sang out, "I wish I had a pretty house, the littlest ever seen, with funny little red walls and roof of mossy green. The lost boys danced with joy. What good luck they had! The branches they had were sticky with sap, and moss carpeted the ground. She sang some more. Really, next, I think, I'll have windows all about, with roses peeping in, you know, and babies peeping out. With a blow of their fists, they broke through the branches to make windows. Large yellow leaves became the blinds. Roses? They made pretend roses grow up the walls. Babies? Why, they'd be the babies. After all, they were looking for a mother. The house was beautiful. There's no knocker for the door, said Peter. Toodles offered up the sole of his shoe, which was perfect. There's no chimney, said Peter. He snatched the hat off of John's head, knocked out the bottom, and stuck it on the roof. Peter was pleased with it. He was even more pleased when it started to blow smoke. There was nothing to do now but to knock. Would Wendy answer the door? After 3 knocks, the door opened slowly, and Wendy poked her head out. They whipped off their hats. "We're your children," said the twins. "Please be our mother." "I'm just a girl," said Wendy, "but I'm a motherly person." She looked at each one and smiled. "Very well, I'll do my best. Come inside at once. Before you go to bed, I will finish the story of Cinderella." In they went. I don't know how they all fit inside, but be assured, everyone can squeeze in very tight in the Neverland. This was the first of many happy evenings with Wendy. She tucked them in under the trees, but she herself slept in the house. While she slept, Peter kept watch outside with his sword drawn. The pirates could be heard in the distance, and the beasts were on the prowl.